Hello, hello. My name is Dr. Rachel Gainsborough, and I am obsessed with all things short-term rentals, revenue streams, and helping you navigate your career, real estate, and your busiest and most wonderful seasons of life. I'm an immigrant, a pharmacist, a wife, and a mom who took one guest room rental and turned it into a multi-property, seven-figure real estate business, which has also landed us on TV. I'll teach you the real secrets and everything you need to build a short-term rental business that you love. I discuss the hard topics, mistakes I've made, and the mistakes others have made so you don't have to make them for yourself. Financing, automations, acquisitions, low occupancy, scaling, and building your team, all while balancing your life, are all subjects to be discussed here. Consider me that one best friend you can come to with your short-term rental business questions. So grab your coffee, get comfortable as you get ready to learn and grow with me. This is the Luxury Short-Term Rental Doctor podcast. We are coming at you tonight with our weekly live webinar or masterclass or training or teaching, but I am here with you. And we invited Drs Pascal and Pascal, Drs Claudie and Jeffrey Pascal. Guys, I am super stoked to have them tonight. They have the cutest, most amazing A-frame in the desert of California. And when I tell you hot stuff, hot stuff. So be sure that you check it out. Give them some love, wish list that bad boy, okay? And definitely visit if you're in the area. But guys, true to our brand, busy professionals, it doesn't get busier than this, right? You have two busy professionals that are leveraging their opportunity in the luxury short-term rental investing space. And I am super, super excited to have them here tonight. So Dr. Claudie Pascal, Dr. Jeffrey Pascal, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself. Let's just jump right in.
Yeah, I'll go first because I'll talk for a minute and then she'll take over the next 29 minutes. But yeah, my name is Jeffrey Pascal. I am actually in residency right now in oral maxillofacial surgery residency. I finished dental school in 2016. So I do have my dental license and my doctorate in dental surgery. I practiced or was out of school for about 3 years, and I went back to specialize into oral maxillofacial surgery, which is a dual degree where you get a medical degree and a dental degree, and we can do head and neck surgery. And currently, right now, I'm in my medical school in my third year of medical school. So I'm a doctor student at school.
Nice. So busy as I'll get out, right? What about you, Dr. Claudia Pascal? You tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I am originally from Miami, Florida, born and raised. And Jeffrey and I, we met in college in Huntsville, Alabama. And we've been married we've been together since 2012, which is when he started dental school. Got married in 2015, which is when I started dental school. And then I finished in 2019, which is when he started residency. So our life has been quite a journey. I am just doing general dentistry and also doing academics. Right now, that's my main focus. I stepped away from clinical care for now just because I had some recent changes in my health. And so I'm just holding it down with academia for now, but definitely planning to get my feet back into clinical at some point as Lord leads. So, yeah.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about your why. Why did you decide to go into short-term rental investing?
I guess our why is because when we met in college, we were both doing mission work, traveling the world, feeding the hungry and just giving back as students. And when we came in our professional career, we wanted to find the means to give back. But then we realized that as a professional, you're tied to your job and it's really hard to get back with a lot of debt that we acquired through school. And it just makes it more difficult than how we were in college. We're becoming more free to do more, and we want to continue that. And so we found that real estate was a great way, especially in the short-term rental market, a way to accelerate our wealth and to accelerate our path to financial freedom. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So you guys are missionaries at heart. You wanted to give back. You recognize the importance of giving back, but the bottleneck, of course, are those pesky student loans, right?
Yeah.
Pesky
Yeah,
student loans.
yeah, I would say it's not even just the loans, it's also having the time freedom as well, like he said. So it's all about having the time and the money to give back. And that's whether we are directly serving or we are allowing it to happen. Because one thing we did in college was we did a lot of fundraising as well. So going, asking people, can they contribute? And this was for big projects as small as a free clinic in our neighborhood to traveling overseas. So definitely like our desire for nonprofit is like even meeting local needs and overseas as well. But regardless of which way you go, you have to put in some time and money. And so that's why we was like financial freedom is what we need. And I remember I told him when I was like getting into dentistry, I was like, I want dentistry to be my way of giving and not my source of living. And that's when he was like, okay, so yeah, you want financial freedom. And I was like, yeah, whatever that is, it's gonna allow me to not be worried about having to show up to work. I'm free to go elsewhere to serve if I want to, then yes, I like that. So yeah.
Ooh, girl after my own heart. I absolutely love that. Actually minored in missions. So definitely had an opportunity to visit Haiti and Cochabamba, Bolivia, just different countries, and open up free clinics in the Palm Beach area. Was raised in Miami as well. So Dr. Claudie, we have more in common than you can
I
imagine.
know. Hey.
I know. Yeah, like Huntsville, Alabama, all my buddies went there. I'm like, okay, so there's definitely more of a connection. It is a small, and you know what? Thank you, Coach Cap, for making the connection.
Yeah, shout out to
Yeah, shout out to Coach Cap for sure. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. So tell us a little bit about the Wildflower Cabin. When I look at this, just absolutely gorgeous. So picturesque. It gives you the feeling of you're gonna experience a great time. I love the staging of the beverages in the bathtub. I just love it. And this is just the basic photos within the listing, but then you guys have this whole marketing going on Insta, and it's just like, okay, hold my water because this is everything right now, you know, with the models and all of that. I was like, yes, and yes. You know, talk about branding, and I just gush. I've gone through these pictures over and over again. Like, why would I not come here? And this tells me come and get your relaxation on.
Yeah.
Come and get away from it all. Come and enjoy. Become one with nature again, right? Just explore nature, and what an experience. And so this is something I'm super passionate about. I talk to the students in my mentorship about luxury is not necessarily the accumulation of things. I don't see an exorbitant amount of things in your property. It's the accumulation of experiences, right? But what you have shown me here, there's so many opportunities to have a phenomenal experience in your space. Like, stop the scroll already, right? Like, why would I go anywhere else? This has everything that I need. And so bravo, guys, bravo. So this is my impression. I would love for you to tell me a little bit about the Wildflower Cabin. Guys, take it away.
Sure. So as you mentioned, so we kicked off our journey to financial freedom with our first Airbnb unit locally where we live. And we made it a goal. We said we wanted to acquire some form of real estate every year. So that was our goal. Every year we want to get something in real estate to keep
that
building
was
our portfolio.
2019.
So 2019 is when we started. 2020 came, we all know with COVID, everything was just kind of like upside down, a lot of unknowns and a lot of opportunities seemingly lost. And we thought we weren't going to be able to acquire another property, but this guy here, there's no like stopping him. He's always still seeking for the next opportunity. So he was still just browsing on the websites and listings here, listings there, like places for sale, still looking. And then he came across the cabin and he was like, wow, this looks amazing.
No. The initial picture wasn't wow.
The initial picture wasn't wow. That's right.
Yeah.
But you were like, wow, the potential. You saw the potential
Yeah.
in it. And we ended up going to visit. And that's when I was like, wow. Because at first I was impressed. Because like you said, the pictures were like not too impressive. But walking into the cabin, all the beautiful logs and just everything, it was just a whole like vibe. It was like,
Hmm.
this is absolutely an experience that is going to be unforgettable. And so we decided this could possibly be our next investment. And we loved it because we're not like, yes, of course, you're getting us a business for the profit, but we especially like love putting together the experience. I know I do. So it's nice when we can find something that it makes it easier to even give value to your clients, your customers. So we saw the value in this and we decided to go for it. I'll let you fill in anything I may have missed out.
Yeah, so the property was already on Airbnb. It was being run by an older gentleman for about 9 or 8 years, and it was underperforming. And like no marketing, no branding, he just had a passion for the wilderness. He was like a scientist, wanted to explore the wilderness and give back to the Native American culture. And so that was his thing. But he got sick and had to sell it, and it was on the market for about 100 days. Yeah, because the realtor that he had a really like an iPhone photo of the cabin and a one-word description in the listing website. And then I called one agent. I'm like, hey, you think can I see this? Because it had an offer on it as well already. I was like, is it possible I can get make a backup offer? And he was like, you know what? Let me see. Let's check. So then he called the agent, and the agent said, actually, the guy who had the offer just,
It
um,
didn't work
it
out.
didn't work out. So then I came in, it was like on a Monday. I'm like, okay, I need to go see this. So by Wednesday, I saw this. Remind you, I was a first year resident, an intern, trying to make time to go
Dagger
out
was brutal.
to see the desert. But, I made the time because I knew it was a potential that we couldn't pass up. And everyone was passing it by because on the listing, on the like Redfin, it said like contingent or pending or something like that. So she was getting no calls or nothing. So when I called in, he's like, oh yeah, let's go see it. So I went, I saw my agent who we purchased our first house with, and then we went to Claudia and we were like, okay, she said, wow, this is it. So then like by Friday, we had an offer in and the offer was accepted. And then my agent took over the listing. And then on Monday, he like updated the photos and stuff. And he got like so many like offers, but we already in contract with the buyer. And so we got in at the right time to be able to get this wonderful piece of majestic cabin. So then after that, we're like, okay, we need to spice it up because it was just a cabin. We need to give it an experience because we wanted to take it because it was being charged like $100 a night. We wanted to take it to like 400, 500. So like we need to spice it up. So we like looked around all over the world, different Instagram, look at different things that we can bring to the cabin inspiration so that people can we're not selling the cabin, we're selling the experience. And most people will spend money for an experience versus for a stay. And so we're like, we need to show people what they can experience here at the cabin. And then we also need to know that we need to target people who needs a getaway no matter what time of the year it is. So we target from LA, San Diego, and San Francisco, big cities where you can drive to, not fly to. And we target birthdays, anniversaries, honeymoons, and just getaways. So it doesn't matter if you have a birthday on this day, when you're on Airbnb, you're gonna find our cabin. And that's what we wanted. So we were like, okay, we got a designer, we got a landscape designer, we got a whole bunch of consultants too as well. We invested money into branding this cabin
To create
because
the avatars.
to find the ideal guest. And then we got the contractor and we decided to do 3 decks with a pool, hot tub, fire pit, hammock, stargazing. She did the interior design to make sure it's a luxury, nice, relaxed, cozy feel. We got mural artists to come in to do a custom mural art to provide like the atmosphere of like heaven and cloud nine. And we just created like a whole vibe to sell the experience. And like your reaction that you had is every single guest reaction. Like we know exactly who's coming to the cabin because they're professionals and they're looking for a luxury experience to get away. Because we have 5 acres and there's nothing around us. And it's only like a 2 or 3 hour drive from LA. And then we were right outside the Palm Springs and Joshua Tree Market. And so we were able to target that Palm Springs Joshua Tree market. Like when you search on Airbnb for Palm Springs or Joshua Tree, our cabin still comes up. So we're able to target those guests. And Joshua Tree has a lot of people coming in all the time. And Palm Springs is a very popular area too. And we became like the #1, like on the top listing for like 3 or 4 months. We're up there, like the first listing that you'll see. And one time when we first opened, we had like 30,000 views of our listing on the Airbnb. Like, let's say the views, we had like 30,000 views for like 3 or 4 months. And we're getting so throughout like the whole entire year. And that's why I kept on raising our prices until we finally calmed down to like a steady good price. But yeah, so that's a little bit about the cabin. She did a great job with the interior design, making sure that it like, and the details that my wife went into to making sure that it was great, did a really good job with that, baby.
So I love you guys, Dr. Jeffrey, you shared so many amazing points there. Okay. So you got laser focused on who it is your guest avatar is going to be. Who's going to be your ideal guest avatar? And this is something we talk about every week. Once you find out your ideal guest avatar, and this is what I tell people who are asking, well, how can you charge so much? Once you know your guest avatar, you name your price, because what you're telling them and what you're showing them in the pictures, I see you, I know your needs, and I've got you covered, right? And they see that. Why would they look elsewhere? I'm not looking elsewhere. When I see this listing, I'm not say, okay, take my money because I'm coming. I'm coming. You guys have me covered. You guys have me figured out, right? I'm the girl who's overworked, who's looking for a getaway. You guys showed me exactly how well I'm going to be cared for in this unit. If your guest avatar is that mom with or dad with 8 kids, and they need all the strollers and they need all the things, they have several dogs, you set up your listing to let them see that you will take care of them. If your guest avatar is that single guy who wants to be in a high rise somewhere, you show him all the views, right? You got to really get focused. What you talked about with the landscaping, the stargazing, the scenic areas, you nailed it. And I absolutely love it, because at that point you can charge a rate, you can demand a rate, because that guest is going to appreciate that they don't have to bring anything but their luggage, right? They're going to appreciate that this is where it's at. They're not there to do amusement parks. That is the park. That is the amusement park. That is their entertainment. Just being there in the middle of nowhere, relaxing, kind of tucked away, becoming one again with nature. And the pictures, right? Yeah. The pictures showed every angle of how they can accomplish that. So those who want to save a few dollars on pictures, it's not worth it, right? It is well worth it to get studio quality pictures, videography, all the things, if that is the avatar you're catering to. So thank you so much for going through that, because that's a really important exercise, right? Yeah. So what has been your biggest challenge with your short-term rental? And cleaners, and just kidding. Oh my goodness.
You can take over.
Oh man, the biggest challenge, which I believe every host probably goes through, for sure goes through until it's no more, is finding reliable cleaners. It's I'm just not all the time venting. But your cleaning team, they are extremely important team members. And anytime we interview with a cleaner, I always speak to them like team members. Like, we are relying on you. And I convey this message to them as well as I can, because we are not there to turn over the property. We're relying on them to turn over the property. We're not coming to follow up and check on them. We're expecting them to do that. And to have someone who can not just clean well, but pay attention to those details, and also be thoughtful and careful enough to realize when something probably should be adjusted or removed or whatever the case is, it's difficult, because it's not just a cleaning. Like, it's not like you're showing up to clean a home or any other place. It's all about presentation as well. And so that's been our challenge in finding someone who like comprehensively meets, checks all of those off. So we've had the cleaners before and, they move out of the area. And then we had another cleaner that seemed to be perfect and going well. And then we realized that they're more focused on the money. They're not even trying to deliver quality. They're just trying to make money. And it's like, we always tell them, like, we're not here trying to overwork anyone and underpay anyone. We expect a certain standard and we will pay for the standard we expect. All we ask is that you respectfully and very considerately honor that, but then it's like a slap in the face when you hear things or see things that's just unacceptable. So we have to let them go. And so the other challenge for us is the fact that we're rural. That's another issue. Not everyone wants to drive out there. So I'm sure there's probably some cleaners who do the job well, but it's just too far for them. So that honestly is what is the hardest part, is having cleaners and having enough backup. Because it's like when we have a cleaner that's good, but it's like, okay, things happen. Someone gets sick. Some things happen. Okay, who's going to be the one to back up and, come up and show up? So that's really been the biggest thing. And then there's like other things that just come with the territory, being in the wilderness, there's those other perks. We're in the valley where it's very windy. So there's those things. And what that has taught us is just being very transparent in the listing, like very transparent, being upfront, like it is very windy and that may cause you to not be able to enjoy the hot tub outside. Like saying that up front, because if you don't, the guest's gonna show up. I'm mad I didn't get to enjoy inside. And here you go getting negative stars. And it's like, but that wasn't our fault. So, little things like that. And so, yeah.
And being rural is like, we're like 15, 20 minutes outside of Palm Springs.
Yeah,
So
it's not even like crazy rural, but it's still rural. So yeah.
Gotcha. Ooh, they all sound so familiar. I kid you not. So we have some properties in rural, PA, Poconos area, and the cleaners, before we got that dialed in, I gotta tell you, it was a bear for us as well. And speaking of bears, right? I'm from Miami. Why are there so many bears in Pennsylvania and bear boxes? So with each market, there are going to be nuances. So it sounds like you're definitely navigating through some of those issues. And I hope that you can find a cleaning team that will support you and have the same mindset, because you're right. I call them the backbone, right? The cleaners are the backbone of this business. If you can't get it together as a cleaner, it's like, it's not going to work out. So for sure, I say they're cleaners and they're stagers, right? So it's a combination. Yeah. So you hit the nail on the head. And I hope everyone who's listening is picking up on that. They not only clean, but they need to stage the property back in photo studio ready, because that's what the guest is expecting, what they saw in the pictures. And so definitely something really important that you shared tonight. And I don't think it's something that we have covered, here on our channel, despite us talking about cleaning teams and things like that, but cleaners are stagers too. So definitely thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest surprise that you've encountered while exploring this luxury short-term rental world? What's your biggest surprise?
After we did the ideal avatar, it was just, for me, it was how repetitive, how every guest was like the exact guest we targeted. Like, to me, it was crazy how this shit is the exact same thing all the time. We're like 95% booked to 100%.
Wow.
Sometimes we black out a few days for the influencers, but just the amount of like the avatar, like just the ideal guest that we targeted, and how it is the guest that comes to the cabin. Like, we're having no surprises in terms of the guest that's coming. They know what to expect. Stuff.
That's awesome. And that's interesting. You mentioned something about influencers. So on that note, tell us a little bit about how you got featured on TV. Magnolia Network, Discovery. Oh my goodness. How exciting is that?
Yes.
Yeah. Super, super exciting. Very humbling. Honestly, honored. We don't know how it happened. They just found us.
Yeah,
they honestly, they reached out to us.
Yeah.
And they pretty much said, we saw your cabin. We are producing a cabin chronicle series, and we would love to feature you. And we were like, wow, okay.
But it wasn't Magnolia at first who contacted us. It was like some random person, right? And I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, and we did a whole interview. We didn't know how big Magnolia was until they came to the cabin for the production with like 3 vans full of production
Well, I know how big
equipment.
it was.
Okay,
I know
well, I didn't.
Magnolia.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't
I know
know it.
Magnolia.
Okay.
So I
Thank
was like,
you. Thank you. Yes.
yeah, and then I
Oh my
realized, for
goodness.
me personally, I realized I was like, wow, this is something really big, it's something huge, and
Yes.
they invested to bring like all of their equipment and staff down there. So I think it was just through our Instagram. We're very intentional about making sure that we put aside 1 or 2 days a month for influencers to come to our cabin to promote our cabin, and so I think it was through the Instagram that we got noticed because that's how he reached out to us.
Was through
Yeah.
the Instagram. So
Mhm.
definitely the exposure through the marketing. And then I think following that, it's just, I guess honestly, when people like they will say, man, you guys did a really good job. I'm like, oh wow, like thank you. It's like it's almost like they considered it an honor to feature us because they just wanted to highlight the work we put in. And that's why I said it was humbling because it's like we really did like put a lot into it. Like we really was like, nah, we want every person.
Yeah.
So like if I could be there to welcome every person at the cabin, I would, but I'm like, I want to show them as much as possible, like we care about your experience. Okay. So if something isn't right, please know that that is just on like not anything on our part because we have done everything. We always are going to do everything to make sure you enjoy. And so to see someone notice that and want to highlight it, it was like, oh wow. So honestly, I think the lesson is that, always put your best foot forward no matter what. It doesn't matter who's not looking, who is looking. You just put your best and just know that it's going to be appreciated. So we were just happy seeing the appreciation from our guests, but then we really was like thrown for a loop when the whole network wanted to like
Yeah.
highlight what we were putting in everything to accomplish as well. So
Yeah.
Ooh, that is amazing. So the key here, guys, and for all of you in the listening lounge, being hospitable, right? Really valuing. So what Dr. Claudia Pascal just highlight for me is something that's near and dear to me in terms of when that individual, that family is coming to your property, right? You never know if that's the one vacation they could squeeze in for that whole year or for 2 years. Some people, they don't have an opportunity. So if they could squeeze in that moment, that one vacation, you want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward because that may be their only opportunity to unwind, to decompress. I've had families come to decompress from cancer treatments. I've had families come to visit after a funeral. You just never know what individuals are coming to your place for. So I think it's so amazing. And so although you did not intend on, being featured on network TV or any of that, that came with it because of your heart and because of the fact that you put so much of your heart and so much intention into making sure the experience of your guests was like world class. You know what? It shows. It absolutely shows. So it looks like go ahead, Dr. Pascal.
I just want to piggyback on that on being
Yeah.
intentional, because this cabin was on Airbnb for about 8 years and didn't get really that much traction. So, with being really intentional about sharing the guest experience is like really thinking about the experience of the guest and not just about the dollars. It'll make a big difference because just to plug in, because then Airbnb even contacted us and we did a few partnership with them as well in terms of their marketing. And it's because of just, really, really honing in on the experience of the guests and not trying to, because the dollars will come if you focus on the experience.
Yeah, the more you serve, the more you get to make, honestly. So that is awesome. I love that. So tell me a little bit about your excursion last week. There was a deal brewing. So you know me, I am the girl who loves to talk about how do I own and operate the fewest number of properties that generates the highest profitability. So I'm not going to be, one of those that you will ever see. I don't think, oh, Rachel has 20 doors or she just picked up 20 doors. No, it's like one at a time, one strategic at a time. So when I heard that you went on an excursion to look at a property, I got really excited. So tell us a little bit about where you went and how did it all work out?
Like we said, our goal every year is to get like one property, to add to our portfolio. And like we're coming towards the end of the year, I haven't got anything. And this opportunity came up in Mexico. It was a Facebook post that I saw in one of the groups, and the guy just said, "Hey, anybody interested in a hotel in a beach town in Mexico?" I was like, "Yes, I am." And and he got a lot of interest, but I went to his private messenger and just started asking a bunch of questions, and then I realized that this was a really good opportunity. So I was like, okay, I'm coming down next week after my finals. I would have came like the next day if I didn't have finals, shuffling exam, but I came down next week, and he said he also had one other person that came down as well that was already in Mexico who came and viewed it, and I came down after him. And the property basically is 1.5 blocks away from the beach. It's an 18-unit hotel with room to expand to about 3 more, and add a gift shop and a rooftop deck. And his uncle was basically wanting to lease it because he wants to do another venture. And he was only renting about 4 or 5 of the rooms out on Airbnb and on his direct booking website. And he basically was grossing around like $8,000 $9,000 without being fully operated to 18 rooms. And so
That per month?
per month, 8 to 9,000 on just 5 rooms. So I
That
went
sounds
down.
like an opportunity.
Yeah, so I went down there and I saw the hotel, and it had a great vibe to it. There were like 4 or 5 other hotels around. So I'm like, okay, what can I do I was like, okay, we gotta rebrand this. That was my first thing. Gotta rebrand it. What can we like? I was thinking, who's my avatar for this property? That's what I was thinking about. And that was my whole thing. Like, who will come here on a regular basis as I was going to the property? And yeah, and I realized this would be a great property. And it had like a treehouse type of vibe type of property. And I
Wow.
was like, ooh, that's it. That's the niche. There's like a treehouse eco resort hotel in a beach town. And I was like, this is what's gonna make it set apart from all the other hotels and other Airbnb, and it was gonna provide the same experience we did for the cabin to that property in Mexico. And so really excited about that. And
That's
yeah, and
awesome.
I was there for 3 days. And I was like, before I leave, I'm gonna sign the lease. And that was my goal. And yeah, and we did it.
Nice. So you're leasing the entire hotel.
Yes. And I was like,
Nice.
I can do whatever I want to do. He said, whatever you want to do with it. He said, all he wants to make sure that he get his rent money. And I
And
signed it.
honor his family's legacy as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Being
And
a big person.
Nice.
Mhm,
And we love that. Really
mhm,
honor legacy, continue
mhm,
legacy. So
mhm.
yeah.
So I love this, guy. So what a pivot shift. So from ownership to leasing, right? Is
Mhm,
that? And so I absolutely love it because it's not an approach that everyone would explore.
mhm.
But what I love about it is that, say, in a few years, he's like, you know what? You guys have been doing great. I really need to just get out of this deal. Would you be interested in buying it?
Yes,
And
exactly.
so that's, so if it's almost like you're dating, right? So
Yes.
if the numbers end up working out well, with some of the properties that we've leased in the past, I start to put the little plant that seed,
Mhm,
if you're ever selling this, I'm your girl, And so
exactly.
definitely having that relationship, with that owner to make sure they know that if they're ever thinking about selling it, you would be the first that they would approach to see if it's a good fit for you. So that's really incredible. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah. And I signed a 5-year lease just to take
Wow.
this investment, just because I know because we're gonna be
It's gonna take
investing.
some upfront, right? Yeah.
And then we're gonna get it back on the back end. And yes, and like you said, pivoting from owning to leasing, talking to my friend, and he said sometimes is you may not own the real estate, but if you control the real estate, control the business, it's less upfront because the money I had for that money, that down payment, I was trying to acquire another property, but it would require more money than just putting up like
Oh yeah, you're not gonna get that property without a hefty down payment, right?
that.
So definitely. So that's really, really exciting that you saw that opportunity. You went out there, you took action. You're an action taker. You're able to then communicate with the homeowner. So I mean, oh my goodness, or the property owner. I am so excited about this. I cannot wait to see what you design with this boutique hotel. If it's anything like Wildflower, forget about it. We're all coming. We are all coming. Oh my goodness. Okay, I got the question. She said, where is this located, Wildflower Cabin? Which desert? So I know you explained it a little bit. Could you give us a little bit more insight as far as where Wildflower is located?
Mhm.
Yes. So Wildflower is located in Whitewater, California, which is a very small town. It's not even incorporated or anything. It's just a really small area. There's actually a preserve a few miles down from the cabin. So that's one of the main things that brings people to the area. And we have like maybe like 10, 12 more other homes in
Eight.
that area. Oh, 8 homes. Okay. I was being generous. So it's a very small little group of people living there. And then the main attraction for many people is the preserve right down the road. But pretty much you have Whitewater here. Here's the 10 that if you continue on will keep you going out east. And just below here is where you have Palm Springs. So you just basically keep going down to Coachella Valley. So Palm Springs, National
Mhm.
Mirage, Cathedral City, Indio, those are all continued that way. So Wildflower is like right there. And then everything else is right here in the main big cities. And then with Whitewater being here, you also have like Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree is more over that way. What else? Morongo, Pioneer Town, like those are some other attractions in the area. So
Okay, fantastic. So in the middle of nowhere, but with access to all the activity, if you decide you want to get out there and do
absolutely.
things. But the appeal is that it's in the middle of nowhere. People want to be in the middle of nowhere, right? They want to kind of be removed a little bit off the beaten path. So definitely, this is awesome. Okay, Valee, because I know Valee, you're looking at a place in Montana right now. So that's a good question. Just looking at their branding and how they really set their property apart. Imagine this was a property that's been on Airbnb for years and years, generating, 100 a night, not bad, right? But just no personality, really, just kind of plain Jane. And now on TV, influencers, all of that. And that comes with really understanding the guest avatar. And that's an exercise. I tell everyone you must do that exercise because that informs every decision you make. That informs your decision down to the sheets you're putting in the property. It informs everything. Knowing my avatar informs my investment strategy, right? And mine is multi-generational, multi-families, traveling with small children, teens, and pets. So I'm not getting that condo. That's a great deal. The high rise, it's not going to work, right? I can't put 12 people in that studio because that is not my guest avatar. But I know who that will serve and say, "Hey, Jane, this is for you, not for me, but it's for you." So it kind of narrows down who and what deals I even really dive into because I'm focused on that guest avatar. So focus on one, right? Just really get laser focused on one. Because look, if you were trying to focus on everyone, you'd focus on no one, right? So you really got laser focused. And I think that's what made the difference. So what has been your biggest win and why do you think that has happened? That's my next question for you.
Maybe getting automated or
We're getting there. Yeah.
He sees hope on the horizons.
Yeah, no, I think just our biggest win, honestly, I think it's just being able to own this. Like I know, we just talked about we transitioned to the leasing aspect, but being able to say we own this property and the land we live, because mind you, we also bought the acreage around it, and that was another decision we made because once again we were thinking about how we wanted privacy. So we was like, we don't want to gamble and someone buys the land next to it because someone was trying to. It was like, if we don't get this now, someone's going to buy this land. They're going to probably come in and build something else on it. And it's going to throw off the whole vision we have for attracting guests for an exclusive getaway. And so for us to even be able to own that, it says a lot for us because we're the first in our family to really shift gears in this extent when it comes to creating wealth and continuing our family's legacy. Our parents came from Haiti and they put in the hard work and did the best that they could to, allow us to go higher. And we're just like, it's only up from here. So honestly, I think that's our biggest win because we have to just give credit to like our parents who instilled within us those values of hospitality, thinking of those things and just putting your best foot forward in all those details and not being so focused on the numbers, but rather the value you give. And I think that's something everyone has to think about. Like, yes, of course, we all have to be wise and consider financial freedom, but do not let the dollar be what you're focusing on. Focus on the process and making sure whatever process you choose, you are honoring that process and doing right by it so that you can lead to the dollar value. So if you're going to go down the route of getting into hospitality, you better hone in on giving the best hospitality you can and then know the dollars will follow. Because if you just focus on the dollars, it's going to show and you're not going to get the dollars.
Ooh.
Or you're not going to get as much as you could have gotten.
You are preaching today. I love that resonates so much. Oh my goodness. I couldn't have said it better. That resonates so much. You want to jump in, Dr. Jeffrey, and tell us what your thoughts are about that?
Yeah, just I'm thinking about the biggest win is the impact that we're having on our family. Like, Claudie's sister, she said she's able to do things because of the things that we're doing, and she's trying to reach financial freedom, and she's in a better position financially now. And she credited to her. She said, "I saw you guys doing this, so I thought I had the confidence to do this in her realm." And my brother-in-law is married to my sister. They're trying to do things. Just that, impacting our immediate family and being examples to them, saying like, "We can do it. You can do it too."
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. And you guys have a loaded schedule too. You're in healthcare, you're busy professionals. So you're not only impacting your own family, you're impacting everyone in this group right now because we are chock full of busy professionals who often think, you know what? I do not have the time capital. I do not have the capital to do this deal. And you just showed us single-handedly how you pivoted into a leasing model where it's not going to absorb an astronomical amount of capital with a 25 or percent or 30% down. And so that is a pivot that you did there. And so I really appreciate you for sharing that with everyone. Let me see. I think I have another question. Oh, comment. So Belize says, yes, I love it. The property I'm looking at is a luxury property in the middle of nowhere in the mountains. Yes, the middle of nowhere. I love it. And that's what sells, right? People want to be in the middle of nowhere. And so it's all about branding. It's all about being strategic. It's all about understanding your guests and making sure that they know that you see them and you're ready for them. I absolutely love it. I love the eco-agricultural type of travel. That is definitely something that Airbnb as an organization highlights. So they will continue to keep you at the top of the listings when you have unique stays like eco-agricultural travel, when you have tiny houses, when you have these unique experiences. Definitely. Did you want to just add something in, Dr. Jeffrey, before we wrap up for tonight?
I did. Yeah, just for the hotel, one thing the owner asked me was to give back to the community that's around the hotel. And I said, of course I can do that. And I was in the way that he was like, oh, maybe you can contribute to, painting the sidewalks or other things. I was like, no, this is what I'm gonna do to help get back to your community is by bringing healthcare professionals to the area and do like healthcare clinics, whether it's dental, medical, or whatever, to get back to help the ones who don't have access to care and provide the space for professionals to come and to be in that community to help with their healthcare needs.
Or get back to those who are, and also identify the clinics that are already there and see how we can help them too.
Yeah.
That's another thing we're realizing in how we're going to go about serving when it comes to overseas to see,
So just stay tuned. I know you have healthcare professionals that's on your platforms, and this would be a great opportunity for them to, to get back and to relax at the same time, and then, pick our brains too while we're there. So
I love, love, love it. And the synergy, guys, is absolutely there. I look forward to serving alongside of you guys and participating in that, because that is my heart as well. I love to serve, partnering with those communities that do need the help, right? That need it the most. So thank you for sharing that. Oh my goodness. I absolutely love it. And what a lot of people don't understand, I think, those who tend to give short-term rentals a bad rap, you're employing people also, right? You're employing cleaners, you're employing maintenance people, and like you, we pay our cleaners very well. So these are folks getting paid the minimum wage. These are folks that are getting paid 30, 40, $50 an hour as a cleaner. And so that is huge. And so for you to bring healthcare professionals into an area like that, for you to employ cleaners in an area like that, for you to, have individuals partner with clinics, I think it's going to be huge. And I so look forward to participating with that. Okay, we got another question. Annette says, what do you know now that you wish you knew when you first started? That's a good one, Annette. Thank you.
I can speak to the most recent thing, which is like I said, trying to find the ideal team members, because even as like Justin, we're growing, we're trying to get things automated. So like trying to get VAs on board, things like that. I think the most important thing is just realizing that unless you hire someone to like have them literally set it up and run it for you, if you're going to be doing it yourself, you have to be prepared to put in a lot of time and be patient, because you literally will have to sometimes like train someone and like have them to embrace your mindset. Not everything you think is like easy or natural or like a given is. And so you have to be prepared to repeat yourself and to find ways to convey it well to others as well. You have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to grow and to put in some effort to make it what you want it to make, to make it what you want it to be, and not just expect that someone will be able to do that for you. And I say that because, like, for instance, with the cleaners, like I've even gone down to the point where I'm like creating manuals, like I'm taking pictures and I'm literally detailing out. I'm creating a checklist. I'm creating a link here. Look at this, go here to see that. That is, but it's like it comes from me being willing to put in that effort, right? To say, okay, I need you to understand as well. What can I do to help you understand as well? And so let me go put in that extra effort, as opposed to saying, oh, you're fired, or oh, everybody's horrible. They're like always be willing to turn to yourself and see what can I do to make it better, or who can I hire probably to help me make this better. So
that is so good. Yes. So guys, for all of us who thought this was a passive investing strategy, it ain't passive. It is not passive. And till the day I die, I'm going to say short-term rental is not passive. Don't get it twisted. It is one of the most active sports. I kid you not. So for sure. But really that self-awareness, I think, is key. So what you touch base on, and I hope everyone realizes this, what you touch base on is, as you're going through your processes, as you're identifying, this is my step 1, step 2, step 3, kind of cataloging it, right? Kind of documenting, these are all the steps I take to make sure this one task is done. These are all the steps I take to make sure, when I'm speaking with the guests, here are the steps. Here's how we triage. I have something called my I think I just coined it, my roll out the red carpet customer service experience conversation map. And so yes, that is what I need. You're not allowed to say anything to my guests that is not on this conversation map. You need to say it exactly like I have it written out here. And guess what? That's not a 10-minute project, guys. That's like a months and months, and it is not done. It's not good. It will never be done, because yesterday the guest asked something off the wall. It's like, okay. And my VA said, oh, we need to add this to the conversation map. Yes. So sometimes I have to jump in and respond. And now you have my framework of how to respond to this question. And how that's not overnight. Yeah. But the thing is, it doesn't happen until you're taking action, right? It's when you're responding. you can't just get it in a book. It's once you've responded to 20 inquiries, now your VAs know, oh, this is how she wants, because ultimately it's your brand, it's your responsibility, it's your voice. You don't want anyone else's voice on it. Trust me, I learned the hard way, because like you said, what's a given is not a given. It is not a given. Not this way. It is not. And I learned the hard way. And guys, I cannot thank you enough, all seriously, for taking time out of your Tuesday night to spend it with us in our little community of other busy professionals that are looking for a way to create generational wealth. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. And you know, it was supposed to be like a 30-minute talk. I can talk to you guys for hours and hours. There's
I do, it's gonna be 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh, I know. So much fun. So much fun. I look forward to seeing what you guys have in store for us in the future. I cannot wait for everyone who's listening. I hope you were inspired. I hope you were encouraged. And you guys, thank you. Thank you so very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us. Thank you so much. Look forward to working together more.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Bye, guys. Mwah.
Bye.